Welcome once again. And before we start, we would want you all to see a recent video where Asha Didi was felicitating the newly elected president in India. So I would request Anu's sister to share the video. Okay, thank you, Anu's sister. So welcome, Asha Didi, to the episode 44 on Bliss. We really immensely thank you for sharing your precious time with us. And before we begin, a short introduction. Asha Didi actually has been into the Brahma Kumaris. She got this knowledge when she was just 9 years old. And after that, there's no looking back. She's dedicated her life in 1972 to the organization for the noble cause of building a value-based society. And she currently is also the chairperson of one of our wings called the Administrators Wing. And as you can see, that makes her go forward to all the VIPs in the political field. And you also saw that she also felicitated the recent elected president of India. So what I must say about Didi is, though academically she is a topper and gold medalist in MA Sociology from Bangalore, Didi doesn't like this introduction, but I would go on with the poem for the Didi first, because Didi has been with us many times now, almost 3-4 times on the series, talking on various values. And let me today go on to Didi's introduction in the form of a poem as always. So Asha Didi is full of royalty and grace. She indeed serves the world through her yogi face. Her elevated character can be labeled as ace because it's the soul consciousness with which she's touched base. In her generous heart, everyone definitely finds a place because she's miles away from caste, creed, and race. She asks us on this life journey to slow down our pace and teaches us how to use knowledge as a mace, yet giving each one the desired respect and space to be in the open field and have a hearty grace. So this was all about Asha Didi, and today's value is about bliss, a few lines on bliss. So today let's listen to Didi's insightful sharings on this beautiful value of bliss, which being so valuable indeed, we can't afford to miss. To establish the communion with Almighty with a divine kiss, which helps us indeed keep us safe from the Saturn's dark abyss, and also makes us fearless from the Maya's serpent's hiss. So with these few lines, I would now request Sister Claudia first to please welcome Asha Didi. Over to you, Sister Claudia.
Om Shanti. Good evening for you. Good morning from us. Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you with us. You know, you share your wisdom and make us to be wise. So thank you very much for being with us again. And I'd like to offer you some flowers. Those flowers was taken from Baba Garden this morning. So I'd like to give to you a special on this day today. Thank you.
So thank you, Claudia, sister. And before I give it to Asha Didi, I would just remind all of y'all to click on the interpretation icon and choose the language which you want to listen to in. And Didi's talk would be for around 50 minutes or so. So around 9 p.m. India time. And then we'll take a few questions. Is that okay, Didi? For around 10 minutes after that question answer on Bliss. And then 9:15 India time, we'll go into the meditation mode. So, and I would request all the participants to just send your questions to me directly. It becomes easier rather than sending it to everyone. Thank you so much. And with this, over to Asha. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Let us sit in silence for a moment. Om Shanti. I'm indeed happy to be with you this evening. And the value that has been chosen for tonight's talk is bliss. Frankly speaking, I was in a dilemma. Is bliss a value or experience, state of mind? I tried looking up the list of values. I was not able to find it appearing over there. I tried to look at the list of divine virtues. Again, I was not able to find it there. So it sets me thinking, is it the state of mind and experience or a value? Value like honesty, love, happiness, all these we put into our day-to-day life. We work through them. We make them a part of our Karam Yogi life. But when it comes to bliss, Anand, in front of me, 2 or 3 pictures also appeared. One, Brahma Baba in a reclined position and in a very happy, blissful mood. Similarly, we have in Bhakti Vishnu lying on the bed of serpents, and the hoods of serpents form an umbrella over him. And he is also shown in a very deep, joyful, blissful mood. The third picture that appeared was that of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, as a small child, he's dancing, standing on the hoods of the very poisonous serpent which was in the river Yamuna. And Krishna has the ball in his hand, playing, smiling, dancing. Sometimes Brahma Baba used to lie on his bed with his hand over the head and just enjoy the blissful state. And when we talk about soul, we say soul is Sat, that is truthful, Chit, conscious, sentient, and Anand, the sort of Sat, Chit, Anand. And this is what we talk about God also. And in India, we make use of the word in Hindi, Anand. Anand, which means bliss. And to my surprise, there is no opposite word to Anand. No opposite word. Like if we have Sukh, we have Dukh, sorrows, happiness, pure, impure, honest, dishonest. When it comes to Anand, there is no opposite word to it. In Hindi, we say Vilom. So, what is this state? We are yogis, and yogis are set to reach such a stage which is karmatit, and in karmatit stage, the state of the mind is totally blissful. Blissful. Baba says, you become blissful through blessings. blessings of whom? I feel we have to bless ourselves first. When I bless myself, then others will also be blessing me. What is meant by blessing the self? It means making the self true to what its praises are: truthful, chit conscient. Conscient means where your intellect is. Very vivek. In Hindi, we have the word vivek, wisdom. Sat, conscient, but conscient with wisdom. And then Anand. I have to be very true to my nature of the soul. What is the nature of the soul? Nature of the soul is soul consciousness beyond body and bodily relations. There are 3 steps. There are 4 steps. Truthfulness, the truth, the self, the soul is experienced only when I give up, when I am free of body consciousness, when I am free of the bondages with my bodily relatives and bodily sanskars. Sanskars, which means I, mine, thine, and all. Then also free of sanskars given by the external world, bodily world. 5 vices, as we say. Now, it is a tapasya. Blissful state is not just easily achieved. It is tapasya. Tapasya means where you are constantly keeping a watch on yourself, where you are very, very attentive. When we say soul conscious, there cannot be blissful state in body conscious state. It has to be experienced by the soul. And soul can experience this when it is totally in its true self. Soul consciousness. It is not a dry stage. It is not a dull stage. It is not something that you are holding on to. but natural. For instance, when we come in contact with each other and when we are interacting with each other in soul conscious state, the feelings that you have, and when you interact in a body conscious state, the feelings that you have are very different. Experience of blissful state requires that we be in a state of soul consciousness. Soul consciousness means interacting through love, wisdom, purity, peace, happiness, positivity, good wishes, and so on. What we call, and I have no word in English for this, ruhaniyat. Ruhaniyat. It is not, spiritual is a gross word. A sense of spirituality, the feeling, the vibrations of spirituality, interacting in soul conscious state. Those vibrations, that is called ruhaniyat. It is that state that allows me to be in blissful state, where soul is totally beyond the earthly vibrations, the earthly feelings, just beyond. As yogis, we have to reach this state. Yogi does not simply mean having intellectual communion, but what is the experience? What do you feel? What do you get by practice of yoga? This blissful state. For this, to reach this state, one aspect I've highlighted, you can think more on it, freeing ourselves from the vibrations of body, bodily relations, bodily sanskars, and so on. Second thing which is required is introversion. When we are extroverts, we cannot be in blissful state. Extroversion, it can give you the feeling of temporary happiness, but bliss is much beyond than happiness. Full concentration. Concentration on what is essential for yogi life. Concentration on my thinking. Dear brothers and sisters, the complaint that mind is negative, wasteful thinking, it is much, much far away from this. How long will we go on managing our waste thoughts, negative thoughts, useless thoughts? How long? It's enough. Now's the time for us to just concentrate on what is needed and required by the soul. As it is, we have too much burden on our heads. To clear it off. Clear it off. We talk about being double light. To be blissful, it is necessary that we keep ourselves in double light stage. Double light meaning where external world and my internal world both are light. Nothing is burdening me. How can you be just a point of light? How can? To free ourselves from all the external burdens. It's a non-essential, not needed, not required. Simultaneously, to be in blissful state, one has to see what we have received from Baba. We easily count what we don't have. For instance, there are certain weaknesses in me, there are certain such points where I need to work hard. We give attention to them. But to have an experience of blissful state, we need to count what we have received from Baba. For deities, it is said, nothing lacks in the treasures of the deities. अप्राप्त नहीं कोई वस्तु देवताओं के खजाने में. Nothing is lacking. Everything is there. No desires, no wishes. I must have this, I must have that. No desires at all. Just see, every one of us, every single one of us has received plenty from Baba. To remain intoxicated looking at the treasures, the intoxication that you get, it makes you have an experience of blissful state. That I have received so much from my Father. Nothing lacks. Nothing. It is nothing that is now that I would say that I desired this. Nothing. Then there is one thing that Baba has spoken time and again. If I want to be in a blissful state, I have to have two powers: ruling power and controlling power. Ruling over my senses, controlling our senses. Once we asked Dadi Gulzar, what is it that needs to be controlled? Dadi said, all those things that Baba has said not to do, you must have a control over them. Like negative thoughts, words that we speak, actions that we do, behavior. There are several things that Baba has said, children, don't do that. You have control over them. Control over senses. And the soul who remains in blissful state is beyond I and my syndrome. I'm not doing it. Karan Karavan has. He's getting it done. I'm just an instrument, a puppet in his hands. He's getting the things done from me. So, total control over the senses. This is one sign of a blissful state. Now, how to achieve? What efforts we must do? One thing, Amrit Vela, Baba says, make your Amrit Vela very, very powerful. It is in the morning when only you and Baba is there. Baba is there for you. It is his family time. He has opened his treasure house, giving boons to us, blessings to us. That experience, our point of light and Baba's point of light, light and might, ocean of blessings, giving me, showering blessings on me. Sometimes such a feeling is there that you will never forget it. While talking, I remember Dadi Manohar Indra. She used to be in Pandav Bhavan, Madhuban. And we young sisters at that time, 4 or 5, she used to take us to Yoga Bhavan. You know Yoga Bhavan in Madhuban, where meditation classes used to be conducted. And Dadi used to make us sit in meditation, yoga. There, the experience that I had is fresh even now. I can never forget it. Such a beautiful, joyful experience. I cannot narrate, but that experience is there. This is possible. And everyone can have the experience, but making our Amrit Vela very strong. Kindly excuse me for a minute. ये पंखा बंद कर सकते हैं? Making very strong. Baba is there for me. I am the only child in front of Baba. Have a right to her. Experience will be there. Then, as I said, we have not to be under the control of senses, but the controller of senses. Our thoughts should be very, very divine, selfless, very elevated, and having good wishes for everyone. Everyone. Ultimately, it is our thoughts. Thoughts are the units. We have to work at that level. Thought should be very generous heart. All those precautions that we are told, we must observe them. It is these thoughts that make my stage. So give attention to the quality of thoughts. And then our deep relationship with Baba. Ecstasy, blissful state. It is not something that you are sitting all alone and no. We experience this with Baba. Baba giving us the experience. So, in our relationships, in Hindi we say, tum sang khaun, tum sang bolu, tum sang baithun. Making Baba my inseparable companion. When Baba is my companion, what else is needed? Nothing. Dear brothers and sisters, there are few things that obstruct us to experience this blissful state. One, excuses, lame excuses. Then laziness. Then jealousy, talking, looking at others. These are the enemies of blissful state. If I am enjoying these four things, how can I enjoy that bliss? How can I ever be in that state of bliss? Love that comes from inside. And the remembrance of Baba that comes from inside, core of the soul. What Baba was talking about, the Bandhelis, those who are not allowed to go to the center by their husbands. Just 2 days back, Baba was talking about them. Internal love, true love. This love for Baba gives us the experience of bliss. Ek Nami, only one. Baba, only one. You are the one. Baba, you are there. If my mind wanders and my love is divided, blissful state is also then far away. That love and pure love for Baba. If we have this pure love for him, bliss is experienced. And then, when you are absorbed in the love of Baba, just try to recollect. All of you have that experience. Just try to recollect how Baba makes you swing in super sensuous joy. Because of the love for Baba, you are never tired, tireless. Just you remember him. No matter how much work is there, you don't feel anything. You don't feel tired at all. Love is very important, but remember, this love should be very truthful, pure love for Baba. Pure love. One more thing which all of us have the experience. If you recollect that you are sitting in front of Bap Dada, listening to his Murli, I'm sure all of you must have experienced that blissful state. when Baba gives the Murli. And the epics, the scriptures, the Murli is very famous. It is said they don't know that it was Shiv Baba, they say it was Krishna. And they show that when Krishna played the flute, even the cows came running. People would forget what they are doing. They would just stand still and listen to the flute. So we know pretty well it is not that flute, but it is Murli that Baba gives us. And this Murli gives us such an experience of ecstasy that we forget everything. We forget everything. Similarly, little attention on the self. I have to experience blissful state, so I have to work on the self. My experience is we need to keep ourselves free of worries if we want to have an experience of bliss. The place where I am, there's so much to do. It never exhausts. The work never exhausts. So, sometime back, I was thinking, what is it? Am I a machine? Just one after the other, things have to be completed, work has to become, and I have just to be taking care of all these things. I felt it was not spiritual. We are not here for this purpose. Our purpose is different. I may be very accurate and perfect in my work, but this is not me. I'm not supposed to be this. Baba does not want me to be in this state. Baba wants me to be in the state of ecstasy, bliss, where my face shines. Baba is seen through my face. This is what he wants. All of us want glorification of Baba. All of us want. But how is glorification possible? Through lectures? Is glorification possible through other means of service? No. Glorification is possible only and only through our state of mind, through our face, through our character. Baba says, children, your faces should shine and people should ask, what have they got? What have they got? Blissful state is very close to what we call supersensuous joy, ecstasy. Bliss is that's that state, but very close to that. We have experienced joyful state, we go for this. And Baba has said, the more you are in blissful state, the more you are likely to receive blessings from others. You receive blessings and you become blissful. Why? Because when you are receiving blessings, it means that you are giving something to them. People are benefiting from you. Something good is coming out of you. So these were a few thoughts. And I would also say that just as Brahma Baba, you would have seen the picture where on rocks, even rocks are there, and Baba is lying in a Baba is just reclining. You would have seen that picture, beautiful picture. And his mind is away from this world to that blissful state. That is our true stage. That is what we should be. Okay. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And really, now we should change the trend, become more experience-oriented, and enjoy the blissful state, which we can experience only at the confluence. Only at the confluence. I don't think in Golden Age we'll have this. Nor we have it in Kali Yugi world. We have it in the confluence, where we know and we experience also both. Om Shanti.
So, thank you so much, Didi. Actually, just to let all of you know that Didi has been very busy traveling to Mount Abu and then back to ORC and back and forth a lot of times. And you saw she was also busy with many other sort of things happening in her life with the president as well. So we really thank you immensely, Didi, for giving your time almost 1 hour and telling us so much about that how bliss is an experience rather than a value. So a few questions which have come is, people say this proverb, ignorance is bliss. So I wanted to ask you that, and also there's another saying which goes with that very closely following that it is better to be ignorant and live in bliss rather than know the truth and live in agony. So I think this completely defies the spiritual bliss which we spoke so much about. So you want to throw light on this proverb?
Actually, when people say ignorance of bliss is if something is harmful or something is not good, it's better not to know about it. Why spoil your mind? Better not to know about it. So it's okay. When people say ignorance is bliss, fine. If I do not know, if I do not have that information, I'm happy. And if that information is given to me, probably my mind starts working and I feel bad about it, maybe. So it is good from that angle. But when I talk of bliss, it is totally different angle. This spiritual, spiritual stage, not otherwise. And second thing, you said, what was the second one?
Yeah, so it is like better to be ignorant and live in bliss rather than know the truth and live in agony.
No, knowing the truth, we can also be knowing the truth and living in bliss is also possible. Baba makes this possible by giving us knowledge, and the knowledge when we apply nowadays, I'm requesting whenever people come to meet me, I tell them it's better that we solve our problems through the knowledge that Baba has given us. For every single thing, Baba has given us knowledge. So I can know and simultaneously be in a blissful state, finding a solution. And that is also true for those who are not able to find a solution. It's better not to know the things and spoil your head.
Right. A question, very practical question someone is asking, that I am a very simple householder and I really don't understand these jargons about bliss. So what can I do to experience bliss at home? Do I need to go to the mountaintop or maybe Mount Abu as well for experiencing bliss?
Manoj, you answer this question.
Actually, we have quite a few new souls who have joined. So there are many. That's the reason it's coming from them.
So you can tell them. You can tell them.
Fine, sure. I will. Thank you, Didi. Okay, other question is, you mentioned someone is asking about something called karma teeth.
Yes.
So as we approach the karma teeth stage, we really feel a lot of bliss. So do you want to throw some light on karma teeth stage?
Karma teeth stage is the stage where you are beyond the influence and effects of karmas. No accounts are created. You are performing actions. It is not that you are not. You are performing actions. You are doing everything, but simultaneously, nothing influences you. Nothing affects you, good or bad. Nothing. You're beyond. So whether it is there or not, it's the same thing for you. So you're beyond. So karma-tit stage is a stage where we are totally viceless, nirakari, incorporeal, nirvikari, viceless, and egoless, nirankari. Beyond the effect of the external world or the bodily world. Nothing of the external world will affect us.
Right. The moment you spoke about egoless, an immediate question popped up in the chat window that please ask Asha Didi. She visits so many VIPs now, even the President of India, because she showed the video as well. And the news is out there in the open. So how can Asha Didi remain so egoless despite being amidst so many VIPs?
No, meeting VIP is not a big thing. We are there to serve them. We are there to serve them. If the attitude of service is there, service means humility. So humility, only through humility you can serve people. And if there is any ego for what? There is no need to have any ego. We are there as godly servants. We are going there on behalf of the institution. I am nobody. I am there as a representative of the organization. So there's no question of being ego, having ego at all.
Great. So true humility and egolessness. Thank you, Didi. I'll take a few other proverbs. Nowadays, there are a lot of proverbs saying, follow your bliss. So I'll take two of them. I'll take one by one. So the first one says that follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were initially only walls.
अभी पता नहीं मनोज जिसका अर्थ मेरे को नहीं आता.
Okay. So, I'll take the other one. That's a bit more, it's not so big a sentence. Follow your bliss and let the magic of life happen.
Follow your bliss means what?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you. What is following your bliss?
Follow your bliss means what? Bliss is something which you have to achieve. Bliss is not something, an ignorant state. जो भोली भाली ऐसी स्टेट नहीं है. Bliss is something which you achieve through efforts. So follow your bliss. मैं समझ नहीं पाई.
Okay, yeah. So we get your point. It's an experience which we already have. So there's nothing to follow about that. Yeah, so I think we'll take something which you spoke about desires. So it's a saying from the Buddhist philosophy that to seek is to suffer and to seek nothing is bliss.
हाँ, ठीक है. इच्छा मात्रम अविद्या. When you have some desires, so naturally suffering is there. If your desire is not fulfilled, then you suffer, you feel bad. And when your desire is fulfilled, then you feel happy. But that is not the spiritually elevated stage. And what we learn is that you fill yourself so much with spiritual powers, strength, with virtues, with values, that there's no desire at all to have anything more. Ichha matram avidya, where there's no knowledge also as to what a desire is. So that comes only when you fill yourself with spiritual powers.
Right. You touched upon a few things. I'll take a few more questions in the interest of time. You touched upon the differences between happiness and bliss, because you said happiness has an opposite word like sadness, and there is no opposite for bliss.
Yes.
So people are asking that, in meditation, what do we experience? Is it a state of peace of mind and happiness, or bliss? Is there any difference between
bliss? It is, when we sit in meditation, when you feel happy, no doubt, but then the ecstasy that the soul experiences is bliss. Bliss is that stage where you are not able to explain it also as to what it is. जैसे गूंगे का गुड़ कहते हैं ना. So it is something like that. You will not be able to express it also. So in meditation, happiness is something which something that you receive and you feel good about it, that you feel happy about it. Something that you suddenly received a news, suddenly received something, some award, suddenly received some. So when you receive something which is unexpected, you feel happy. And bliss is something which we earn. Bliss is earned.
Okay, amazing. Actually, Didi was mentioning quite a few times about Baba. So just to tell you all that we lovingly called the Almighty as Baba because it's a good relation which we have with him. So what Didi was mentioning was quite a few quotes from what we call the spiritual versions. So I would, because Didi mentioned those two B's, I want her to explain the third B as well. So you said if someone is in bliss, he obviously gets blessings from everyone. And to complete the we have in our versions, that you need to have a balance of many things in life to achieve bliss. So what sort of balance are we trying to look at?
Balance, it's good. You reminded me of that. Balance, balance, blessing, and bliss. Three things. Balance, if you keep balance everything, balance of virtues, like if humility and authority, you have balance. If you have a balance of love and law, then the bliss and accurate. There is no something which जो आपको सोचने को कर दें या डिस्टर्ब करें. बैलेंस से आराम से कोई कार्य हो सकता है. बैलेंस से आराम से आप उसको अपने आप को संतुष्ट कर सकते हैं. बैलेंस गिव्स यू कंटेंटमेंट. बैलेंस से कहीं ज्यादा कहीं कम ऐसा नहीं. बैलेंस से आपको आंतरिक संतोष रहेगा कि मैंने अपना कार्य जो प्रॉपरली किया. तो इस प्रकार से बैलेंस और ब्लेसिंग, आप बैलेंस रखेंगे तो यू विल रिसीव ब्लेसिंग्स आल्सो एंड यू विल ब्लेस योरसेल्फ आल्सो, बिकॉज आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि मैं अपनी कार्य में संतुष्ट हूँ. बाकी आप एक्सप्लेन कर दो.
It's an international audience, so we can explain them later, the last thing about balance and bliss. Yeah, so thank you so much for your valuable time. I would request now Dr. Ashok Mehta to please propose the vote of thanks. He's with us, Didi, as well. Over to you, Dr. Mehta. Yeah.
Om Shanti, Asha Ben.
Om Shanti.
What you said is so beautiful. The bliss is an experience. And that experience, probably you don't want to do anything. You won't know the time, how much time you have spent in that wonderful experience. I think all of us have at some point of time experienced those beautiful moments with Baba's meditation. When we just go and are in his company. Baba says that you're swinging with him all the time. But I think that that's more happiness. But the blissfulness is something it's beyond description, beyond time, beyond understanding, beyond telling someone how to do it. I think one has to experience to know it.
Yes.
I think what we have when in especially when we learned the poetries in our vernacular language, it was said that when the Krishna played the flute, the gopis would run, they would leave everything and just forget. In other words, that experience was a unique experience, which we said with Baba's Gyan, that it is Baba's Murli that we would fall in love, and sometimes we just do not know what's happening. It's just to be with him and to listen it all the time and experience. I think such a beautiful experience that you have shared. I think probably one could share that experience more in silence than in talking. Thank you very much for sharing these beautiful thoughts, Asha. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, Dr. Mehta. And actually, it's getting late for Didi. So can I request Anu sister to go in the meditation mode first with Didi, and then we'll do the announcements. Is that okay? So you can just play some soft music.
Thank you, Didi. We'll play music.
Thank you so much immensely, Didi, for sharing. So, as we bid goodbye to Asha Didi, I can request now Sister Anu to please go ahead with the announcements.
Okay.
On behalf of everyone, such a thanks to Didi. I'm sure everybody is taking the experience deep inside in their heart, and with Didi's drishti, the eyes, as we are churning through whatever Didi shared with us. So now let's see what is coming up, our programs. So tomorrow, after 24 hours, 8:30 p.m. India time, that is 8 a.m. West Coast time, we have the next session of our power series, that is Power to Decide or Judge. Nirnay Karne Ki Shakti, that's in Hindi. And that's happening on Sunday, 24th July, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. So please note and join us. We'll have Brother Enrique Simo from Spain. He's the national coordinator of Brahma Kumaris in Spain. So he will give us some practical tips to understand how to take and implement the power to decide and judge in life. And as we always do, after 1 week, we'll have our values workshop on bliss. And for that, we will have our first hour, the experiential exercises, as we always do, to again enhance this experience or power of bliss within us. And in the second hour of the workshop, we'll have Sister Maureen joining from UK to take us through another insightful talk and meditation on bliss. So it's on Saturday, 30th of July, 7:30 p.m. India time. That makes it 7 a.m. West Coast, US, Canada, 3 p.m. UK time. So please join us then. And our next session on Values for Life series is episode 45 on care or concern, like Parva in Hindi. And for that, we'll have again our very senior Senior Raj Yogini Didi, Jayanti Didi. She's the European Director of Brahma Kumaris, and it is happening on Saturday, 6th of August, after 2 weeks, 8 p.m. India time, that's 7:30 a.m. West Coast time, and 3:30 p.m. UK time. Please note the joining links and join us. You will get information about all these programs on our websites. That is vihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. And you can have all the videos, YouTube videos, on the YouTube channel of Vihasa India and Brahma Kumaris Vancouver. So please note, and we will see you again in the next session. Thank you everyone for joining in today.
See you tomorrow within 24 hours. Thank you, Anu sister, for the announcements. Thank you all the translators for your untiring efforts. And thank you all the participants.
Thank you all. Thank you.